Hey there, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. The thing about working with the energy of the moon is that you learn to get in tune with the cycles of nature, of life, and things that are going on. And so working with that energy is very beneficial. And so today we're going to talk about the energy of the cycle of the sun as it moves through Aries. That is from March 19th through April 18th. Wow, that was weird. Okay, so before I started, as I always do, I like to get into the energy of the signs, right? And so I started this today with Aries, and I got a vision. And the vision, as I was pulling out of it, I was told it was for the collective. And then I was encouraged to pull cards from 3 different decks that I have and to develop the message for each sign through that. It's interesting, but things are changing, so there you go, right? And so one great way to help me connect to your energy when I do that would be for you to hit that thumbs up. To leave me a comment is even better, because when I meditate on the signs, when I try to get into your energy, if you've left me a comment or emoji, something that makes your face, your name pop up, I write them all down. And I ask to be connected to the energy of those who will receive the messages. And then I ask that the messages are attracting the people who need to hear them, because I never really know what I'm going to get. And so it helps me grow my channel. Yes, it is an exchange of energy between us, but I really want to use this gift that I have to help. And so it helps me to help you if you could connect with me. So I really appreciate when you do that. And so your vision. So the overall collective vision was this. I saw like looking out of a doorway, but the doorway was these twigs that were like, leaning against each other, and then a wind blew and it knocked them all down. And you're standing in the middle and you're looking at the remnants of what used to be a structure, and then stepping out and to the it's like these rolling hills that lead up into a mountain, and down on the side there was a stream of water, a river or something. So you're standing out there with your hands on your hips, observing, looking to the future, looking at the mess behind you, just thinking. And then decision time, I guess, because then you head off down the stream, down to the stream, and there's clay. And you're scooping up the clay and you put it in a bucket and you're carrying it up. And the next thing I see is you creating a new structure with the sticks that fell. And so it's not like you have to get rid of the things of the past. It's just look around. There's abundance to be found. There's tools to work with. But they need more ideas, more things to bring it together to create now walls of clay and stick, which would definitely be a more solid foundation, a more clear structure. So that was the overall vision. What I saw when I got into your energy was now the sun, and the sun has been moving up. It's really weird, but I've been watching the day pass. So the sun was up pretty high in the sky, like 2 o'clock. It was warm, and I saw you step into the river and go under the water and then stand up, and I saw the water running off of you, and refreshed, you headed back up the hill to work on the project some more. FYI, or maybe TMI, you were 20-something dude and you were hot, so hey. Hey, Scorpio, hey. All right, so let's see what that really means. So I start pulling cards, and the first card I see when I start pulling cards is water. I was like, okay, well, I'm on the right track. So what I want to read to you what it says about water, because water showed up in so many ways. You had purification. Look at all that water. You had the rainmaker. Water. And you had the divas, and I want to read you a little bit about that, but divas are in water. And so, and since I didn't know exactly what a diva was when I started on my spiritual journey, I kind of want to read to you what that is. But anyway, so water. Water symbolizes purification, regeneration. I mean, talk about Scorpio, right? Birth, regeneration, birth, revival, and cleansing. It's Scorpio all over the place. It signifies an evolutionary shift from former self to new self. Many myths around the world speak of the great flood and the new life that is revealed after its deluge. Water begins without boundaries, and then as forms has separated itself from the water, it comes under the laws of time and life and thus acquires limitations. When water arrives, you are invited to watch your emotions, know that they are going to be going to be changeable, and do not settle as on a conclusion as at this time. If you feel joy, feel that fully. If you feel sad, allow sadness to move through you. Water invites you to see the ebb and the flow of life, to trust that it's the wave of opportunity when it arises, and natural flow is here, and to go with it. And so that, again, it's about the cycles. It's learning how to work with the cycles. So that is the other, and then working with the cycles, you have the medicine wheel. And the medicine wheel, it's a sacred hoop with the 4 cardinal directions. It represents the cycle of life and the cycle of nature and the circular pattern of our cosmos. It has been used for millennia in indigenous cultures to bring harmony and well-being to the village. Its directions symbolize the 4 steps that the shaman takes to become a person of power and wisdom. And so I'm going to explain to you what those are. It says to manifest clear blue skies in your life. When Scorpio, you deserve clear blue skies. It is important that you take a look at certain aspects of your being. Enter the medicine wheel from the south. Reflect on how you are still clinging to events from the past. Continue to the west and notice that which relationships are toxic and drain your energy. Step into the north and ask yourself, do I know my passion and do I show it? And in the east direction, visualizing how you want to live the next chapter of your life. What can you purify? What can you let go? Purification is the releasing and letting go. And then what do you want to manifest? The Rainmaker manifests through the blessings of the deluge, of the blessings of the flow of spirit, what they want to create and what they want to manifest in this world. There are many paths that you can take, and so the choice is truly yours. So visualize what it is you want. Where do you go from here? You have been going through this deep cleansing, purification process for a while. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but what I am telling you is that cycle is closing. It is concluding, and now is the time to start letting the things flow out of you, out of your life that are toxic, that are draining, that are not good for you. Literally let them drain away. Spend time using water as a clear, open channel to work with. Shower. And just what comes to you. Visualize the shower washing away the negative and bringing in new ideas and new inspiration and divinely orchestrated. Saltwater baths, great way to get rid of negative energy. That's why sitting at a beach, especially on the ocean, is so cleansing and healing because there's all that salt water in the air and you're there with the water and the salt spray, and it is so healing. It is so good for you. And you have the mystic shaman. And this one's really long, but Scorpio, the mystic shaman has been your journey, and I don't want to use my words. This is really good and this is powerful. This is the symbol of the myth maker, the storyteller, who is neither made of nor defined by the story. Instead, he observes it, evolves through it, perceives all aspects of it. In doing so, the mystical shaman represents the ability to dream a new story, a new myth into being. He dances between the worlds, wearing the cloak that the world loosely around his shoulders, and sings the world into being. He reminds us to be the world and travel through it, but not to be defined by it, nor to become too attached to the experience. This is a symbol of true alchemy, for all the elements of life have a spiritual aspect and a material one. When one remembers this, all manner of miracles and manifestation are possible. Remember, you have the rainmaker of manifestation. And I think what this is really revolving around is the only other card you received was relationship. And I actually wanted to, and I can't believe I pulled that out, I actually want to read to you what it says about that too, because it was fascinating. And so honor the beauty and the sacred in your relationships. Window of soulful connection, mirrored reflections of yourself. In the twilight hour of a new day, two familiar souls reach out to share a moment. A fragile first step of intimacy, or the gentle returning of a lifelong union. There is something magical about holding hands. In a simple wordless moment, lighting a circuit of energy from one heart and body to the other, an invitation to look into each other's eyes or to turn together and face the world through a shared view, not clinging to or pulling, but loosely clasped, gently interwoven, each individual celebrated within a greater whole. That is a relationship. I want to say you are rising up out of the purification process that you have been going through, a very hard one. And now it's time to get back to work and create the life you want from the lessons that you've learned. The whole world's in a pause right now, right? The whole world's kind of being cocooned and sheltered off, and maybe holding hands isn't a thing you do in a new relationship right now. But remember that. So remember that connection. It's important. There's this song from the 80s, Mickey. Who sang that? Anyways, it was about when you take my heart, when you take my hand. And it's true. Holding hands is, your children reach out to hold your hand. There's this trust that comes in it. It is a really powerful moment of connection. And so there's a moment of trust, right? It's trust. It's walking together, not controlling, right? What have you learned? Okay, we're definitely talking relationships. You have true love. You have true love. But she's looking at herself. This is true love of yourself. This is, so often when we have relationships that don't work, it's because we don't love ourselves. But when we learn to love all the parts of ourselves, which you guys have been working on so hard, the shadow and the light, when we allow ourselves to trust in ourselves and to love ourselves and understand that it's not flaws, it's facets. There are no flawed human beings. There's just the flawed thinking about it. There are facets. You can't have light without dark. You can't have three-dimensional objects if there's no shadow to show it. It takes all of this so loving all of yourself. So this relationship might be the relationship that you're having with yourself, or it might be the knowledge and the understanding that now, if you can integrate that self-love that you have for yourself and you reflect that out into the world, you are going to draw and attract to yourself other people who have gone through this process of loving themselves, of learning that they are worthy of love because they are love. You are love. They are love. It's not worthiness. It just is. We are a spark of the divine. We are a spark of love, which makes us love. And we come into this world and people try to tell us that's not what we are, or we have to earn it, or we're just not worthy, we're not good enough. That's such crap. I am loved. I am lovable. I am loving. I am love. That is what you need to be telling yourself all the time. All right, let's get into what the cards are for the month. Past, present, future, thoughts, feelings, action, key to the situation. You have the Ascended Masters. Call on your guides. Call on, oh, I was going to read to you about the divas. Call on the help that you have that could come to you. Okay, so also, if you work with crystals, I really want to recommend a quartz crystal. I have some. Oh, super easy to find if you can get into a store. Right now, that might be a challenge. Okay, so crystals. Divas are highly evolved nature spirits that make their way across all realms. Every part of the world is alive with nature spirits. Divas are found in water, fire, trees, and crystals. That's where you'll find them. In water, fire, trees, or crystals. You know how when you sit there around a campfire and you're like, everybody's mesmerized by it? That's the divas that play working with you. You know, trees, when you go for a walk and, oh my gosh, if you ever touch a tree and you can feel the energy just flowing from it because it draws its energy from the crystals in the ground. And it cleanses and it puts out, so there's all this energy, it all works together. And then, so you have water, fire, trees, and crystals, but I really want to encourage you to work with the divas of water. So when you're standing there in that shower and you're letting the water crash over you, or if you're sitting next to a stream or a river or anything that you're doing, getting out in nature, really being attuned to that, sitting in front of a fire, whatever. Tune into the divas around you. The Ascended Masters are asking you that in your heart space to call on them and to open your heart to allow for more healing and inspiration to come to you. Whoever you want to work with, you choose. If you don't know, you say, I'm looking for help from the divine, and it will show up. Okay, so in the recent past, you've been struggling with manifesting your intentions, using your intuition. You've been struggling, you know, but I think that as you've been working through this, I think that you're making great progress. Great connection. When I look at this is about loving yourself and all of the parts of you and seeing where it takes you. And here you go. The key to transforming your life is discovering the beauty within. Discovering what you truly value. Discovering that you are valuable. Because what we like about ourselves, we like in others. What we don't like about ourselves, we don't like in others. So we reflect out into the world all the time. So that thing of beauty, that thing that you were searching for, when you find it in yourself, you will find it in others. Beautiful. Okay, in the future, in your area of thoughts, you have stuck energy, right? But it was in the reverse. The only way I really like to see that. So you will be moving forward. You will be unstuck in your thought process as you discover what it is that is truly of value to yourself. So you've had a lot of anxiety about finding this piece, and because I see this intuition and manifestation here and the anxiety around the piece, I think maybe some of you are struggling with the whole idea of how do I meditate? Like I struggle with meditation and it's really hard for me. And you know, these kind of thoughts in your head. And I want to tell you that it takes practice. That when I started, I could barely meditate for a minute. And now I'm up to like 5. I can't do it very long. But what I've done is make peace with the idea that it's not like that. It's not like sitting there and sometimes it is. Sometimes it's chanting. Sometimes I do that. It's very, oh gosh, how do I put it? It's very otherworldly. It just, but really what I get is I see things, I see pictures, or I hear music, or I have thoughts come to me and I stopped thinking that, oh, where did that random thought come from? And I started acknowledging it was coming from my higher self, giving me my knowledge and inspiration, and I work with that. And I work with the cards because they give me messages. I really like the oracle cards. Tarot was a little bit more of a struggle for me to necessarily be able to read through it, but the oracle cards were easy. So if you're just starting out, get yourself a good deck of oracle cards. And really, whatever deck draws your attention is a good deck for you, honestly. So here we go. Hidden motivation. in the heart space. So the hidden motivation has to do with what happened in your childhood. We come into this world and we know we come from love, and yet the world tries to teach us that we have to earn love. And so a lot of what's gone on has been trying to prove to yourself that you're worthy of love. But that was never a requirement of anyone other than people. It was never a requirement from the divine. And so this allowing yourself to make peace with your inner child, to heal your inner child, to love your inner child, and to love all the parts of you, even the hidden parts, to make yourself whole. So you've been struggling. We have milestone here in the area of obstacle. And so, yes, it's been a struggle to climb this mountain, to make this transformation. If you watched last week's video, or 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, you were that stone egg, right? That had to be cracked under tremendous pressure to reveal the dragon inside of rebirth. And so here we go. That was a struggle, but it was a milestone that was conquered. And there you are. The healing light. This is you connecting to the healing light in your heart space. And it looks like she's holding that bubble of water. Where was that at? Right? Look, it looks like she's holding an orb of water. Healing in the heart space. Keep working on that. And in the future, you've got back and forth. So what this tells me is by the end of April, are you going to feel like you got this? No. But I see you looking to the future. I see you leaning forward. I see you trying to find your balance. I see you making progress. So keep with the healing work. Keep falling in love with yourself. Keep accepting all the parts of you, working with the Ascended Masters as they appear to you, however they appear to you, whether they show up in a song that you hear, a thought that you have, something somebody says that just resonates. They are communicating with you in all kinds of manners. If you can easily meditate, then you may catch messages from them that way. Ask for help, though. They can't help you unless you ask. That I just heard that. Ask for help. So some of you may not have gotten to that. So again, we were talking about the cycles. The cycles are important. So just a little note. I will be on here a lot now that I am not working currently. And we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things. And one of the things we are going to talk about is the cycles. And we have a new moon in Aries that is starting here on on Tuesday, and so that's what I'll be covering. So look for me on the 24th. And Helios, this is the cycle of the sun moving across the sky. And so it's the cycles, as everything in the world moves in cycles. And there is times when things are shown brightly, and there's times when things are hidden, and then they're brought to light, and then they become hidden. And so there's growth that happens through this. You have Thor, action, and thought, wisdom. I can't even tell you how much energy are coming off of these cards right now in a way to make it make sense to you. This wisdom is wisdom of lifetimes. So Thoth lived for thousands of years, and then he would regenerate and come back, and he didn't take as long, and he could stay alive longer. There was reasons for this. He was here during Atlantis, and he had access to high vibrational crystals, but that's wisdom of lifetimes, and we all have lifetimes, just maybe not as long of a period, but we have been around forever. We are made of stardust, right? And so these lifetimes of wisdoms can be accessed through asking for the Ascended Masters. One of the Ascended Masters, Hilaron, is like the librarian of the Akashic Records. And so tapping into those Akashic Records and action of Thor. You know, Thor brings the hammer down and crushes things that need to be crushed for the greater good of all. So what do you need to crush in your life and let go of? And by crushing, I don't mean crushing and destroying somebody. I mean crushing and destroying your negative cords of energy, your negative thoughts, your negative attitudes about yourself. Like, allow this energy to light you up and to move you into the next cycle. Scorpio, I want to thank you so much for connecting. There has been a lot of connecting of energy from you over the last few months, and I really appreciate it. It really allows me to give you these deeper insighted readings that maybe not everybody would want, but I think you guys really understand and appreciate. There you are. There you are, the dragon of rebirth. Whole again. The dragon of rebirth. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the reading. It would have been 2 Mondays, well, not last, yeah, till 2 Mondays ago, whatever that was. The first Monday, I think, in March. Was an amazing vision for you. And here it is, the dragon of rebirth showing up again, reminding you that you have gone through that death and rebirth cycle. That is what Scorpio does. It is hard work. It takes a lot of courage to decide to incarnate into a lifetime as a Scorpio. Scorpio rising, Scorpio moons, they're all going through it in different ways. But you're going through it. All right, let's do what we get. One more piece of advice, or 3, for what you should, kind of action you should take. Okay, so you have Mother Mary. She has shown up an awful lot today. This is that loving yourself unconditionally and allowing yourself to feel loved unconditionally by the divine. If you had a difficult relationship with your mother, and it says Mother Mary and the unicorns are blessing you. If you had a difficult relationship with your mother, and that usually translates into difficult relationships with females in your life, particularly if you place them in some sort of a feeling of they have some kind of authority over you. So if they're your significant other, or they're your boss at work or something like that, you can have a difficult relationship with them because of the relationship with your mother. And so allowing that healing to happen there, where you understand that, you know, mothers are doing the best they can. But if you do not feel loved and nurtured as a child, Mother Mary wants you to know she loves you, and she's continuing to love and nurture you and helping you to heal through that pain. You have seeking good. Look for good in your current situation. So we have this healing light. Look for the good. Look for the good. And a new door is opening for you. So rise up out of the water. Allow it to cleanse you, to purify you, to allow you to step forward into your future, to get back to work at building the life that you wanted to create what you want. Scorpio, what an amazing reading. Yours are always long. But what an amazing reading. Congratulations. Such great progress. I look forward to meeting with you a lot over the next couple of weeks. You take care of yourself, stay healthy, and keep doing the good hard work. It looks good on you.